Hi guys, welcome back to Fire and Water Astrology. I'm Ashmin and I'm doing Sun in the 9th house. I love this placement. First of all, I just love the whole 9th house because I have planets here. I'm a Sag moon. My sister has this placement. My best friend has this placement. I have another friend with this placement. It's a really good placement, you know? Obviously I'm double fire, so I'm a little bit biased, but let's just go ahead and get into it. When you have your sun in the 9th house, you have your sun in the house traditionally ruled by Jupiter. It's the house traditionally associated with Sagittarius, and this doesn't mean that you have a Sagittarius sun, but you will have almost like a Sagittarius twist to things. Like, for example, my sister has a Taurus sun. She acts very much so like a Taurus, and she identifies as a Taurus. She looks like a Taurus, but when it comes to feeding her ego, what parts of her life, like where in her life she wants to feed her ego, is in the 9th house. So what does that mean? It means that your ego is associated or tied to your own ideals, to your own beliefs. You're very curious person who likes to adventure. You want to be seen, because the sun isn't necessarily who you are, it's kind of how you want to be seen, and it's how other people see you, right? So you want to be seen as somebody very intelligent, somebody very well learned, someone who's had a lot of experiences. And you definitely seek recognition through higher education, through what you know, through your philosophy, through like culture, through all of these things, right? All of these very open-minded, worldview, optimistic thinking things. And you're someone who definitely enjoys teaching, wants to be seen as someone who's a great teacher, wants to be seen as someone who enjoys learning, right? You want to be seen as wise, a coach, spiritually enlightened, right? Because, let's go back. The sign your sun is in is like, I'll use my sister because she's a Taurus sun in the 9th house. So she acts and looks and everything very much so like a Taurus. She's fixed like a Taurus, but she behaves like a Taurus. She's very steadfast when it comes to 9th house things. She's very stubborn when it comes to things like her belief system in the 9th house. When it comes to going places, she wants to go where she wants to go. So she behaves like a Taurus in the 9th house. And hold up. Yeah. Now, okay, so there's always like a double-edged sword with like every placement, you know? And when you have this 9th house energy, having your sun here, like I said before, it's not necessarily who you are, it's like how your ego is fed and how you want to be seen and how you make other people see you. Now, whether you're really like this or not depends on the rest of your chart. Like, for example, my sister's sun in the 9th house, I'm just going to use her over and over again. Even though she wants to be seen as this 9th house person, she really is kind of 9th housey because she has a Mars in Sag. So she's seen this way, but she also acts this way because she is this way. But I know another person who has their sun in the 9th house but has no other placements in the 9th house. And even though it will come off as very 9th housey, if you know this person, they're not at all. So it really depends. Like, where your sun is how you're seen and how you make other people perceive you or see you. But whether you're actually like that or not depends on all of your other placements. Depends on how you behave in all your other placements. So, for example, the other friend I have, her sun is in the 9th house, and I kid you not, she would be tutoring people and telling people that she'd help them and trying to teach them in this one class, right? But her grade in the class was a C. but she would speak as if she knew what she was talking about. She would be tutoring people, telling them everything. And even though, I don't know, people with displacement, they have a way, even if they don't know exactly what they're talking about, they have a way of making it sound like they do, and they can kind of just pull things out of thin air and run with it, and they just sound so well learned. Yeah. So these people will definitely desire to be seen as someone very knowledgeable, and very cultured. So a lot of people with displacement, like, have traveled a lot, will like save their money to go places, and will love to take pictures of themselves in these places, talk about all these places that they've been to. Now, if you have your son here, but you have no other placements here, and they're all like in other like isolated houses, like more like introspective houses, you might talk about your desire to travel a lot, or talk about like all the places you want to go, but never actually go. So it really depends on, you know, like I said, your other placements. And there's all the positive qualities of this house. The sun in this house are very, very positive. Like, you will definitely shine, and you'll definitely be seen as somebody smart, well-respected, somebody that people look up to, and very mature. But the negative qualities of this house would be that you might be seen as somebody self-righteous, somebody unable to like really see the opposing view. The negative side, like the lower order of things, is like you might only want people to see like your beliefs and your ways, but you don't want to see theirs. The higher order of it is that you would be able to discuss any belief with anybody and have an open mind and open conversation with anybody, and kind of like really give like more of like a diplomatic, honest view on things, rather than just like a closed off, like my way only view. So it really depends, like higher order, lower order here. Yeah, like positive and negative traits here. And yeah, so this is, like I said again, this is how you want to be seen. This is how you want your ego fed. So if you really want to become this sun in the ninth house person at the core, and you really want to feed your ego, seek higher education, seek travel, read, write, explore different religions, become a foreign student. You would probably learn a lot about yourself through like doing like a study abroad, or like, you know, becoming a foreign student, or taking in a foreign student into your house and maybe studying things like philosophy, even if it's not through higher education, like independently studying those things. Now, yeah, it's important that you actually do all of these things and you don't just talk about it. Once you do all of these things, you will really feel like your ego is fulfilled, like your light, because the sun is your light, right? If you really want to feed that light and that vitality, really invest your time into doing all of these ninth housey things. Whatever higher education interests you, go ahead and pursue that. Like, if you had a Scorpio sun in the ninth house, you'd probably want to seek higher education on something more science related. But if you had a Sag sun in the ninth house, maybe you would really be interested in studying something like world religions or philosophy, or something more along that line. So really feed your vitality by feed your light by going ahead and doing these things. Travel to these places. Maybe through doing this, you will feel like the person you portray yourself to really be. Also, you are somebody that will shine pretty brightly, mainly because the ninth house is more towards the top of the chart. So even if you are quiet, like my sister has a Taurus sun, so she doesn't even have to say very much, but she's noticed. People notice her, and she's seen, she's she's viewed as somebody who is mature, and even though she doesn't have to say much, she doesn't have to use a lot of words, but she's still seen that way because her sun is up there at the top of the chart. It's not in the midheaven, like 10th house, but it's right next to it. So she's still seen as somebody very intelligent and all of these things. But the thing is, she's only 16, but she does go ahead and feed into all of those things. She does study religion and kind of like spirituality. So through doing that, she's able to shine even more. So if you feed and learn more about those things, you will shine more. And yeah, I think overall this is a very positive placement. Yeah, but I think with this placement, it's very important to not just talk the talk, but to also walk the walk. Because, I don't know, in my experience, a lot of people with this 9th house sun will just talk about it, but they never do it. But if you're someone like my sister, you know, really feed into that. It will really make you feel better. And if you feel like you're ever in a rut, maybe try kind of like engaging in more 9th housey things. It'll really make you feel better. Okay, I feel like I rambled about the same thing for an hour. I always feel like that. If you have any questions, comment below. If you feel like I missed anything, comment below. I'll definitely acknowledge it. And I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.